Yo, what's up? Lorenzo here. All right, short vlog for today. All right, greetings. All right, happy evening. All right, what do I talk about today? Oh, I just wanna, just share a little something uh, to film fans, film goers, cinephiles. This for you. Okay. Um, what do I say? Oh, I just want to share with you my favorite director and filmmaker. All right, Hollywood. My favorite Hollywood film director now, right now, at this day and age, that I think is going to be one of the last great ones in terms of sticking to the old guns, to the old traditional Hollywood cinematic storytelling and scope and style and the traditional way of making a film, or how it should be, how it should feel, and how it should look, and how stories should be told, and um, how it should affect you, and the way we see it, and here it is. Of course, you guys know who it is. It's Christopher Nolan, or Chris Nolan. He's a Brit, but he makes really good Hollywood films. For Used to be for Warner Brothers, but now it's for Universal. So anyway, for me, I think he's one of the last great ones because he's the only director now, probably one of the only ones that follows traditionally how they should make films. All right, um, let's go back to history, film history 101. All right, let's go back to the early 1900s. All right, probably 1910s to the 1920s, during the silent era, silent films. For modern folks or millennials or Gen Zs or whatever you guys are called, I know you guys are gonna find it boring because silent films, black and white, either it's colored light brown or red or green or whatever. You still have to watch those silent films because, first of all, it tells you how visuals are very important, how films should be made, how the stories should be told through visuals, and how to keep visuals entertaining. How do you make it look beautiful into the eyes? Every shot, every frame, it has to be beautiful. There shouldn't be a dull moment. And if you watch all these silent films, specifically the ones by D.W. Griffith, who is the father of film. All right, if you don't know about this guy, you gotta study that stuff because you can't dive into film without knowing this guy. Because knowing this guy, you don't need to study the whole thing about film. You just study about D.W. Griffith on YouTube, and seeing how he makes films, the angles and stuff, of course the image, and he teaches you, like, you have to make every frame beautiful and useful, no dull moments. And it's like a comic strip. You have to have sequences of events that tell the story, and how do you say it. And he also teaches you how to make a story without dialogue. You don't need dialogue in making a film. Of course you need one, of course, for it's a film, but originally it's all moving images. If you look at the silent era, and wow, you have to see his films like Birth of a Nation, Intolerance, and also the ones by F.W. Murnau. He's you have to see that, like Sunrise, and you have to watch those films, you young filmmakers out there, because it's important, because it teaches you how to tell a story with images. And that's very simple, you know And if you let that stick with you, you'll end up like Nolan. Because I can see it in Nolan's films, Chris Nolan, that absolutely he watched the films of D.W. Griffith and Murnau. All right, he had watched it. Otherwise, the way he told his stories with the sound, the music, it's so similar to the silent era. Like the films Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, Oppenheimer, Dunkirk. Right now, The Odyssey, which I can't wait to see this July. He stole those from Griffith. Intolerance, Birth of a Nation. He stole it all from the silent era. Very important films that you need to see if you're gonna dive into film, because once you learn from that, it would be easier for you to visualize and tell the story visually, kind of like Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott, another director that is one of the last remaining greats to carry the fire of what good filmmaking is, good quality, and how stories should be told. So there you have it, Chris Nolan, Ridley Scott. Those two guys are the most important directors now, still alive at this age, that are sticking to how you should make a film. So if you're one of those few rebellious types that you don't want to follow the trend of how the future is going, and making complicated films, and just sticking to your old guns, Chris Nolan and Ridley Scott, those are the best guys to follow, like myself. So there you have it. Just sharing my thoughts on the last few ones that are actually good. So Ridley Scott, Chris Nolan, probably Scorsese, but slowly Scorsese is adapting to the future, the Gen Z way of making a film. That's why I still like Nolan and Ridley, because they're still stuck to the classics, the last great ones that it's almost extinct, unfortunately. So there you have it. Film School 101, guys. From me, Lorenzo Veloso. All right. Lorenzo Veloso. All right. All right, that's it for today. I watched the film yesterday by this Russian director, Timur. All right. Timur. All right. I'm kidding. Timur Bekmambetov. Yeah, he's a great filmmaker. He knows how to make digital stuff. I gotta hand it to him. He makes films that that are in a webcam, basically specifically for the future. He made One Mercy with Chris Pratt. All right, so it was all right. It's for an Elon Musky type of dodgy guy, but it's well made, no doubt. But for a normal guy, for a janitor, for a truck driver, for a bus driver, for a farmer, for a normal dude that has no idea what film is about, they're gonna find it a bit tricky. So it was all right. It was all right. So I gotta hand it to him. It's well made, AI stuff. But it also it gives you a heads up on how the future is going to be. Having an AI court. What else can AI take over? It's pretty scary. So there you have it, guys. So that's it. All right. Exercise, eat well, and cheers. Cheers, guys. I'm gonna work out myself. All right. Ciao.